This is so beautiful. It's just warm. It's heartwarming. It's about the people of Hong Kong. They're protesting, and because they don't want to be a part of China. But they realize how unifying Chinese anthem is unifying.
唱國歌嘅時候一定要嚴肅莊重。老師，我哋都識唱。
See that? The violence stopped when they started singing the anthem. And even the white people love it. You see the uniformity? And then the diverse people. The diverse people realize how perfect this uniformity is. It's beautiful. And I bet there's little children singing too. We have to learn this song. The words should be on the screen. This is our new anthem. Oh, look at that beautiful flag. Perfect. It's a perfect world. Everyone is it's like a Disney ride. It's a small world with the water like people who are different. You look really off. Oh, the children! There's the children. They're so perfect. I want 10 of them. You see, the people of Hong Kong realize China is perfect. China knows what they're doing. Chinese president is perfect. He is supreme leader. He has usurped all power. Look at the perfect buildings built by China. Just built by China. Really perfect. So she said it. Pelosi actually said it. Every crisis is an opportunity to advance the leftist agenda. The takeover, the full takeover of this nation. Because, yes, right from the beginning, starting this channel, why I voted for Trump is because we wanted to stop globalism. We wanted to stop worldwide communism because we could see that the Democrats were making the government bigger and bigger. And the more they do that, the more we're in poverty. The more we're in prison. But it's interesting that they kept the liquor stores open. I guess U.S. House Majority Whip James Clyburn said before the passage of the $2 trillion coronavirus bill, it was a tremendous opportunity to restructure things to fit our vision. How can spending $2 trillion, what kind of vision do you want? You don't want people to have jobs. You're giving this money so they stay in their homes. By the way, I didn't get any of that money. I didn't get any, and I desperately need it. But my father, very sad. So now I'm really poor. So I wish I desperately need that money. Desperately. So I'm obeying your rules and I'm staying in prison and I'm not even getting paid for it. At least if you paid me for being in prison. So I knew I could keep a roof over my head. Here I am, I'm trying to mow my own lawn. Got myself one of those lawn mowers that don't have gasoline. Except nobody would help me. I couldn't figure out. I'm usually very good at this, putting things together. And because of this coronavirus thing, nobody wanted to help me. And so I was embarrassed to ask anybody else, see if there was somebody out there that would help me. And so I waited too long, and grass got really high. And Asthma's really bad because I've been trying to cut this grass, but the thing won't cut it because it's really, really high. But the gentleman next door, the lovely family next door, he didn't take a penny and he just did it. Well, he put the thing together, but I'm going to have to pay somebody to mow the lawn. And then wear a plastic mask. I have to wear a gas mask. But there's other masks. There's other masks you cannot wear. They're thinking about having people wear them when they swim. Those things get wet, and when they get wet, when you go outside and you go downtown or you have to make an errand and you're sweating, it's harder to breathe because when they get wet, the air isn't coming in and out, and they get really angry at you if you have asthma and you say, I can't wear it because I have asthma. They start a fight with you. So people are going absolutely crazy. So she did say that. And it isn't that she's stupid because the James Clyburn said it first. We know she's stupid, but this is it. We've moved past, well, we had hope. The country was getting more prosperous than it had ever been. More people had more jobs than they ever had. The networks are cheering this on, how we have to be shut indoors wearing masks, and that people can't go to work. And CBS got a big shock today when 400 people were laid off. How could it ever happen to them? Isn't their job secure? Nobody's is. Nobody's is. So you will lower the population. Bill Gates said you have to lower the population to 500 million. That's the only way you can sustain the world. So there aren't too many people to take up too many of their resources and lay on too many of their beaches. It's funny, this whole thing with the rules are all different. In California, you can go in the water but can't lay on the sand. Massachusetts, you can't lay on the sand because that'll get people sick. And you can't go in the water, or you can sit on this. Every single state is different, but if this is based on science, shouldn't it all be the same? Shouldn't it all be the same? But this virus dies in 8 seconds. And 8 seconds of being in the sunlight. So what we should be doing is being outside. Now, the governor in Massachusetts, Polito, apparently she had a big party outside with all her friends, hundreds of people. And when they asked her about it today, she said it was an intimate gathering and we were social distancing. How can you social distance when it's intimate? But she got away with it. She says, oh, no, it's if it's outside, it's okay. That's the law. No, that isn't what Charlie Baker said 2 days ago. You have to social distance outside. You have to wear masks. No, you see, they're just making up their own rules. And the governor of New Mexico wanted to buy jewelry. So she calls up a jewelry store, and she had to send somebody who works for the state and using a state vehicle to go and pick up the jewelry. So they're breaking their own laws. Oh, Marty Walsh, the governor of Boston, whose hair looks like it never grows. It's like, can't be getting a haircut because that's against the law. He can't do that. But somehow his hair just never grows. And he's permanently canceled the Boston Marathon. First it was moved to September. Now it's canceled altogether. Very interesting. Because when this thing, every time they came out every day, they'd say, oh, another 2 weeks, another 2 weeks. And I kept saying, another 2 weeks. They're just extending it by 2 weeks because we can handle 2 weeks, but if they tell us it's going to be months, we're not going to be able to handle that. So Sununu in New Hampshire, they were supposed to open up their restaurants on Monday. And he came out and said, well, we're extending it to another 2 weeks. And then that's how we're going to look at it. Instead of in months, we'll just look at it at 2-week intervals. So in another 2 weeks, it'll be another 2 weeks. And they told us that there was going to be a surge. Though Fauci, they're kind of walking that back. There might not definitely be a surge. They're kind of walking that back. But the governors aren't walking it back. They're just going to take the information, oh, the flu and the cold comes in the fall, so the coronavirus will come back again, or COVID-19 will come back again in the fall. We have to keep everyone locked up until our population will have decreased tremendously. As it turns out, when they're looking closer into these states, that it's up to, in some states, it's up to 80% of the people who die of COVID are in nursing homes and all of them have underlying conditions. There's some people who are elderly that recovered. One was 100 years old, one was in their 80s. They recovered, they didn't have any underlying conditions. This is the main thing. And so the majority of the people have underlying conditions and are above a certain age. And and I'm sure you've heard, if you even go through your windshield, and yet if you have COVID, they mark it as a COVID death. Doing this in New York City, they're doing this all over. Because you get an extra $39,000. And you've heard that it's Cuomo's fault. I think there's another governor that did this too. I think a couple others did. That if somebody has COVID, when they come out of the hospital, they have to go right back into the nursing home, even though they still have COVID, to recover there. So it's his fault that all these people died. More people died and more people spread the virus. Now, we have the example, I'll give you one example about the different laws of the beaches and how they're following science. Now, way back, I remember watching Saturday Night Live. I was watching Louis Black, and it was a real news report that scientists have discovered that wearing masks does not stop the spread of disease. It doesn't. As long as air can go in and out, it doesn't. Okay. That came out, and that was for certain. You know, he's a comedian, and I don't know if you know a lot about Michael Jackson, but he used to wear a mask, a surgical mask, a lot. And he said it was to prevent him from getting illness. As it turns out, it actually might have been because he was always going in for plastic surgery. That's probably the reason. But nevertheless, he kept saying it was because of diseases. He didn't want to catch a disease. And Louis Black has a picture of Michael Jackson with a mask on. And he goes, but that would mean Michael Jackson is crazy. It's like, that can't be. So I remember that when they said, first it was, don't buy masks. The medical professionals have to have them. No, masks don't work. And they told us masks don't work. Now we have to all wear the mask. Well, masks don't work. Masks don't work because that's what they figured out. In fact, earlier this year when they said about the masks, I said, I'll look up if I can find that article about at the time when Louis Black said this joke. And I did found, I forget, it was a very big, I think it was National Geographic, said that the point of wearing a mask is that it gives other people security that you're doing something, but it really doesn't technically, but it just gives people the idea that you're doing something. But if you have asthma like me, and you have shortness of breath, you could die. And then when those masks get wet, as you're breathing and you're sweating, once they get wet, you can't breathe in them at all. Somebody with asthma will die right away. And it's hard for me to believe it would be helpful for somebody without asthma. So, this is what I thought of today regarding the Mass and all the information. Here's something that doesn't make any sense. Okay, now if they're telling us, if the Mass, and Cuomo said that not wearing a mask is death. Of course, I've never seen him in a mask, nor Fredo, who never was in the basement, and I don't even think he had it. I think it was a whole lie. He looked too healthy. Stupid, but healthy. Now, if masks and washing of the hands and the gloves and all that stuff, if that actually stops the spread of this disease, if that's what you're telling us, if that's what those masks actually do, well, first of all, you can open up all the stores. Everything can be open. Nothing should be closed because if we're wearing a mask, okay, that's one thing that doesn't make any sense. And two, nobody can go to a nursing home to visit anybody, even if they social distance, wear a mask, wear gloves, have one of those characters from Ghostbusters that slime you as you walk in the door with Purell, right? Even under those circumstances, we're still not allowed to go because we might pass. Now, why would we pass it if they tell us that masks and all this stuff stops the transmission? If that's the case, you can open up everything and we can go visit our relatives that will probably die and we'll never see them again. And they're lonely. They want visitors. We're killing them. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want this is your way of getting rid of the elderly people. Because didn't Ezekiel Emanuel, who helped write Obamacare, Rob Emanuel's brother, he's a doctor, he said that he wrote a report saying, he doesn't see the point in living past 75. We're living too long. There's too many people on the planet, and he doesn't want to live past 75. I'd like to see what happens when he turns 75. So is this it? I'm connecting some dots here. Okay, is this it? You want to get rid of the elderly population? You want to get rid of a lot of the other people, not from COVID, but from depression and drugs and suicide. Because do you know that in LA County, the amount of people, there's people who try to commit suicide because it's a cry for help. And then there are people who try to commit suicide because they're really trying to kill themselves. And this is the people who are really trying to kill them. This is what this statistic comes from. The people who are really trying to kill themselves. The number of people who are really trying to kill themselves in a year's time, they're seeing in a 5-week time. That's how many suicides are out there. That's how bad this is. You're lowering the population because you want to help the environment. It's the environment. Or these really wealthy people who keep talking about you gotta lower the population, and they're right behind global warming. Which we found out remember in 2010, it was leaked emails from England saying that the whole thing was fake, it was skewed. They made up all those charts and graphs. And then it was global warming. And that's when they laid low for about 8 months. Didn't say anything. And then it came back as climate change. They had to turn it into something else. But that's what happened. That's when the change happened from global warming to climate change. So that's fake. Okay, that's fake. And I could tell you a million reasons which makes that fake. Right from the dinosaurs living for 250 million years, and the carbon was 5 times more than it is now. And they grew big because there were so many plants, and the plants grew huge. So the herbivores grew huge, and then the meat eaters grew huge because there were so many herbivores. The planet at the Arctic and Antarctic, it was tropical and everything was okay, except for the fact there's a lot of dinosaurs running around. And then, of course, the meteor. It was the meteor that hit that killed them off, not the carbon in the air, okay? Because that's classified as a nutrient. So my mother taught me. I first learned how to garden, my grandfather and my mother. Carbon dioxide is a nutrient. It feeds. You have to grow more plants, grow more trees. That's what you do. And it also, once you do that, you start bringing water to the area that was once desert. You can actually change a desert over. The answer is there. If you think this is a problem, we have the answer. And by lowering the carbon, you will lower the amount of plants and vegetables and things that we eat, and also the meat eaters eat, will be less. Everything will be less if you lower the carbon. And the number one greenhouse gas, nearly like over 90%, is water. Water is the greenhouse gas that heats the planet the highest. What are you going to do, drain the oceans? What are you going to go to the oceans, all you SJWs, and scream at the sky, or not scream at the sky, scream at the ocean? Well, the clouds are made of water too. The firmament above's got water, and below there is water. You're going to scream at everything every time somebody turns on a tap because it's raising the temperature. That's why the whole thing about raising temperature is baloney. Carbon is like less than 1%, like really so small. And then water vapor is the highest. That's why people move to Arizona, because it's drier air. Even though it's hot, it feels cooler because the air is drier because it's not as humid. These are things that we've all forgotten, that are simple truths, and I don't need to get into all of them, but they're simple truths. But they're trying to lower. No, the purpose is that very wealthy people want to lower the population. There's some wealthy people that don't, like Trump, want to lower the population for their sake. And they're doing it. And we have to stop it. July 4th, 4th of July, Independence Day. If these masks don't work, if they work, we could go everywhere. There's no place we can't go, and no store or restaurant that needs not be open. There's no nursing home that we can visit our elderly, which are going to die of loneliness. If the masks work, if this quarantine works, whatever. Quarantine. It's not working. People are committing suicide. But who cares? Doctors are trying to get videos out. They're writing politicians saying this is causing more deaths. This is not, the numbers aren't as high. It's actually like 0.03%. It's really small, what we're finding out now. But they're not listening, because this is a power grab. This is a Democrat power grab. So if we don't take our country back, if we aren't ignited to retain our rights, and I suggest in your state, get yourself an attorney and start suing for violation of civil rights. That's what we need to do, because they're violating our civil rights. Each state is democracy, right? That's why the president is trying to open everything up and he can't. But each state is supposed to be a democracy. It's not supposed to be an authoritarian or totalitarian or communistic or fascistic state, which is all communism. This is America. The founding fathers made each state a democracy to retain just in case somebody went out of whack and became communist, who became like a monarch, Then there wasn't communism, it was monarchs. They are turning the states from a democracy into a dictatorship, into a totalitarian regime. This country and no state in this union is supposed to be communist. That is not what it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be a democracy. Democracy is the majority. All of us vote for what we want and people in office. The governor is not supposed to be a monarch. They say Trump is not. He can name his son Baron, but he cannot make him a baron. No, it's you Democrat or you rhino governors that are the ones that are self-appointed rulers, like Napoleon put the crown on his own head, made himself emperor of France. That is not what these states were set up to be. And because this is against the Constitution completely, that you can sue for this. Get yourself an attorney. You need to pull together and get an attorney to sue, because this is not what our states are set up to be. A democracy, not a communist dictatorship. This is our president now. This is our president. And it was the UN that got together. I put a link to it on another video, that said that we must make the world, run the world the way he runs communist China. Mao he's the new Mao. He's taken all power. He's your leader. You're going to have to bow to him every morning. Okay. Our founding fathers did not want this. That isn't what they set up. That's why this is against the law. And the only way we can stop it is if we pull together and we sue. We march. Just like in Virginia. Went right over the top. Take all the guns away. Kill the babies after they're born. A guy who we've since found out was actually wearing the KKK outfit, but has worn blackface as well. Even though it's hard to get the shoe polish off his. She was trying to be Michael Jackson. But as far as I know, Michael Jackson is white. So you see how quickly the Democrats, how quickly and fast, even if you're a Democrat and you believed in JFK, these ideals, those ideals that JFK was an American. He fought for America. I mean, he wanted America to be free. These Democrats today, they don't want that. And Robert C. Byrd tried to stop civil rights, the Voting Act. All the Democrats did. Destroyed the Black community. He died in 2011. Obama and Clinton eulogized him, KKK member, put his statue up in the Capitol Rotunda. You know, racism, the power and the terror of the terrorist arm of the Democrat Party is the KKK. 2011. Do you think the Democrat Party has changed since 2011? I don't think so. I would say take a snapshot, a screenshot, put this up, because if we don't give honor to him every day, we're going to be in trouble, because that's the way it is in China. That's our president. The UN wants the world to be like China. How about that? Let's hope there's hope tomorrow and everything changes. But I think we've got to fight for this. And by July 4th, this country better be free.
总统阁下，中国人民解放军仪仗队列队完毕，请您检阅。
They're about to go into Wonka's factory. Augustus Gloop, the pride of Buzelheim. An example for the whole world. Children are happy. They're jumping in unison. Evenly distributed flowers and flags. This next 4th of July, what's it gonna look like? That's it. Oh, the founders would be proud. Look at this. Oh, he's such a warm man, she. Isn't he? President Xi, he's such a warm man. Such a warm, dear leader. He's a dear leader. Pretty good guy. What you can't do in China, Soviet Union, can't go to church. You can't go to church. It's atheistic. That's what communism is. What can't we do in America? Think about it. Gotta get used to it. Look at how perfect they are. We're going to be perfect like that, but we're they say we're not diverse enough, but I think we're a little more diverse. But we're not good enough. We have to be like that. They'll never allow this. We're too different. We have to be perfect like that. You see? See, you young people, you don't know, do you? It's about non-diversity. It's about perfection. It's about everyone being the same. And having just so many of you. Look at that. Look at that. You see the young people today going to college? They're going to be doing that. They're going to make them do that instead of go to college. This is it. This is your future. Do you think they take drugs? Do you think they have promiscuous sex? Think all that crazy porn? There's like 5 women to like 8 billion men. You know that. But they're perfect. It's a perfect country. Well, I love it because there's more men.
You know
there.
what? I
There's
just
more women
noticed
there.
this is so
I can't find a
Antifa.
man.
This is
I should
so
go to China.
BLM.
Because
This
they
is-
have sex selection.
This is the way
They find
they
out
want
they're
to
having a
live
girl.
in
They abort it.
perfection.
That's the way to do it.
Perfection.
You just
Good
get
going,
rid of what you don't want.
Xi Jinping.
You know, that's the whole idea. Eugenics started in America. Nazis didn't start it. Hitler got
That's
it
it.
from
We are
Vermont,
going to drop
where Bernie
all
is.
our communist revolutionaries, all our Marxist lovers, right into the heart of China.
Xi Jinping, get ready, because you're going to have a lot of pot-smoking toadstools drop to the heart of Beijing. I predict